I'm in Sheffield and I've come to Crookes Cemetery, about 2 miles out from the city centre and high on a hill. Today we've got a sort of mizzle going on, mist and drizzle, so we're not getting splendid views that we'd hoped for. The cemetery apparently was used in some of the scenes from the film The Full Monty, but I've never seen the film, and I'll leave you to judge whether that's accurate or not. This is not an old cemetery. It was opened in 1906. Let me just show you one or two stones just picked at random as I walk up through the path. Ernest, the son of Albert and Lillian Rowbottom, aged 31 in 1955. And then the two parents are shown beneath. Robert, the beloved husband of Winifred Bryce, he died in 1949, aged 75. And Winifred died in 1962. Edith Barton, 1947, aged 74. And her daughter, Harriet Hoyland, 1979, aged 82. Beneath that we got two more members of the Hoyland family. There are quite a number of Chinese graves. This one dates from 1980 for Shum Shi Chan, aged 81, a mother, grandma and great-grandma. Another one close by dates from 1999, Duong Lok, and there is a picture of the gentleman on the stone. Quite a number of these Chinese graves. There's a double plot here, and on the left we have Wan Xing Xiu Ying, 2000, and presumably her husband is on the right. The name is hidden behind the flowers. This is rather unusual. We have a large owl sat on a branch, an open book, and we have a snake going onto the book. The name is Naomi Jane Shepherd, and beneath that is the Star of David. I think this memorial is made in wood because we've got a split now running down the centre, but it's nice to see something really original. Well, I'm sure there are panoramic views to be had from up here. We certainly walked up some long hills to get here, and sadly it's all lost in the mist. This one to John Crookes. This is Crookes Cemetery outside the small village or town, now a suburb of Sheffield, known as Crookes. So John Crookes and his wife Edna, and then Edna's brother Henry. Interspersed amongst the other graves are the CWGC war memorials. The first one I see is Lance Corporal G. Greaves, Royal Signals, 1943, aged 31. Then on the bottom has been added his mother, 1964. Close by is Aircraftman Second Class A.E. Bowler, Royal Air Force, 1939, aged 46. Now the marks you see on the stone are not staining or any sort of growth. It is in this type of stone. It's a sort of marble with this flecking, streaking within the stone itself. Up here we've got several graves completely lost underneath the growth of the ivy. Quite impossible to get to the inscriptions on these, but it still has a nice effect in the graveyard. Up at the top of the graveyard you can see the graves are much newer, very current with the fresh flowers. One or two of them probably only a couple of months old. This is different in that the cross is actually a hole cut in the stone itself, so you can view right the way through the stone. We haven't seen this exact design of stone before, with the sort of wreath leaves around a heart, and the words for Graham Rogers Sr.: wonderful, intelligent, handsome, exuberant. Almost hidden under this tree, a rather nice note on the stone: Barbara Cross, in loving memory of Mum, who tried to teach us to be honest and fair. This stands out because it's twice as high and 3 times as wide as all the other stones around it. The names are Ted Willers, 1999, and then Victoria Willers, 2011. Keeping it simple and very effective. John Holland, 1918-1983. Iris Holland, 1924 to 2013. At rest. One of the older stones with a very clear inscription: Tom, the beloved son of John Smith, aged 22 years. Also Florence Clara, daughter of the above, aged 21. Also Dennis, the dearly loved son of George William and H.E. Smith, 6 years. Then we got John Smith, George William Smith. But we don't see any mention of John Smith's wife. Not so common to see one of the war graves in the darker marble type stone. This is Private H. Ragg, Northumberland Fusiliers, 1919, age 23. Well, through the gloom, through the mist, you can see the Chapel of Rest. Quite an impressive building, presumably built when the cemetery was opened in 1906. I'm afraid I'm not doing justice to this cemetery. The weather's a bit against us. I get a nice feeling about it. I think it'll be a nice cemetery to spend hours in on a sunny day, just exploring the memorials. Not quite so easy today to convey the peacefulness of it all. One of the largest of the memorials, and on here we can see details of Herbert, the son of Robert and Sarah Butcher, killed in action, July 1918, aged 18 years. Next to it is a tall and decorated cross, and there's an interesting inscription, again from a war casualty, on the base, although it's a little difficult to pick out all the words. Gunner Frank Rusby Sterling, Heavy Branch, Tank Corps, son of Charles Percy and Lily Strang, born 1889, died Easter Monday 19, could be 12, could be 17, of wounds received in action the same day at Arras, buried at Beaurain Arras in France. Close by is another large cross, and he mentions yet another victim of the First War, Arthur Lingard, only son of John William and Mary Polson Sanderson, killed at Bullecourt, France, May the 3rd, 1917, just 21 years old. Well, there are not many angels depicted in this graveyard, so we'll show you this one. Wings open, standing in front of the cross, standing on a cloud, I guess. And the inscription on the base: Florence Elizabeth, the wife of William Hibberson, 1912, aged 40 years. Two war memorials placed tight against each other remembers two men from the Royal Artillery who both died on the same day in 1942. D.W. Piper, gunner, aged 42, and gunner G.J. Chandler, aged 40. This, on the corner of two paths, is to the famous cutler Thomas William Ward of Sheffield. This tells us that the memorial was restored in 2018. Now this war grave is particularly interesting. Private J.H. Handover, Royal Army Ordnance Corps, 12th-13th of December 1940. But on the base it reads, his wife Florence, aged 35, and mother Winnie, aged 65, were killed in the same air raid, and here rest with him. Well, I've done my best to show you Crookes Cemetery, although the mist has rather worked against us. Get a good feeling about this cemetery. It's one that you will enjoy if you come, especially if the weather's a little brighter. Interesting memorials, nicely laid out. I thoroughly recommend it, and I suspect there's some stunning views given how much walking uphill I had to do to get here. Anyway, till the next time.